Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Ask Matt Lloyd. We're here at the Diamond Mastermind in Costa Rica. I've got Dolly here and she's got the question for today. So what would you like to know?
Thank you, Matt. What I would like to ask is, so being new, being a new entrepreneur, I would like to know how to transition from being a follower, all of this training, to becoming a leader.
Yeah, that's a really good question because I struggled with this in the beginning. I would see these people in the internet marketing industry who were doing webinars. They had their own products. They were doing videos. They were teaching. They were giving content, and they were leading. They were promoting their brand, and I was thinking, how do I do that? Because that just seems so far outside of my comfort zone. I struggled to write an email. To do a video, I wasn't even willing to do that for a number of years. To do a live event, that would have just seemed impossible when I first started. So for a good 2 years, I was very much a follower and just a student, watching course after course. I would go to events, but I was in learning mode, consumption mode, just looking at what everyone else was doing. I wasn't even really thinking about creating my own content. But then I started to notice something. I started to notice that the only people who were making money in internet marketing were the ones who were doing all that stuff I didn't want to do. They were doing the videos, they were doing all the webinars, and I realized they're the ones getting paid the big bucks. The rest of us are not really making much money at all. I realized that. And so begrudgingly, I realized, well, no, I need to start putting myself out there and creating my own content. So that started off with things like doing a daily email, just sending out an email. Then it kind of moved up to having a blog and having a blog featured around me, but I still wasn't very consistent with that. It then moved to me doing webinars, for example. I had never done a webinar in my entire life before because I didn't think of myself as a teacher or a trainer. But I actually kind of got forced into that. You see, the company that I was with, they would have weekly training, and they would have their top earners kind of volunteer and give training. And so one time, one of the trainers, she couldn't do it that Wednesday night, and she wasn't going to be able to do it moving forward. She got pregnant and was taking some time off, and so they were looking for someone who could do the call. And I kind of volunteered. They asked me to do it, and I didn't want to do it, but I thought I will do it. So I remember I'm on this webinar. She does the intro, and then she basically says, Matt, take it away. And then she drops off the webinar. And so I've got about 20 people on the call. I'm beyond terrified. And this little voice in the back of my head is saying, you're not ready. You're not ready to be teaching and training. But I just did it. And at the end of it, I got some good feedback. People typed in good comments, and they said, hey, that was actually useful. So I started doing that every single week. And from there, I just started doing more and more webinars, and slowly my own view of myself started to shift from student to trainer. Okay? And so it happened over time. It didn't happen right away. You're ready to become a leader or a trainer when you say you're ready. It's like people ask the same question about creating your first product. They say, when do I know enough? When's the right time to create my first product? And the answer is as soon as you tell yourself you're ready. That really is the answer. The time that I created my first product, I didn't really feel ready to do it, but I scheduled a bunch of webinars. I did a webinar every night for like 6 or 7 nights in a row, and I just forced myself to do it. Okay, I forced myself to do it because I wanted to get my first product done. I didn't feel ready doing it, but after I'd done it once, I realized, hey, I'm a product creator. I created my next product the next month. That was also a 8-module video course. And then I created the next product the next month. And then the one 2 months later, I had 4 products in less than half a year, and each was selling for $200 to $300. So it happened over time. I think the most important answer I'm trying to give you here is you've just got to give yourself permission, or you've got to give yourself, you've got to give that label to yourself. If you're waiting for others to come to you and bestow upon you the label that you're a trainer or you're a leader, you're going to be waiting a long time. Okay, so you adopt that title yourself, and then you live up to it. Okay, I've seen people come into this industry knowing very little, and maybe 2 months later or less, they're training. They're recycling what they're learning. They're putting it in their own words, and they're instantly a trainer because in their mind they're a trainer. I've seen other people who've been doing this for 5 years, and they still don't feel like they're a trainer because they just inside of their own head, they haven't yet given themselves that label. So really, it's up to you. The fact that you've been here at this event, we're on day 8 now, learning at a fairly high level, you know a lot more than the average person in our industry. So you certainly know enough to be training, to be teaching people other things. So it's really just up to you. My advice is that the sooner you do it, the better. That's where the big money is made. Okay? All right. Does that help?
Yes, very much so. Thank you.
Okay. All right. So, guys, if you have a question for me, go to askmattloyd.com. Otherwise, we will see you tomorrow.